Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is what holds men back, and maybe a few ideas on how to get past that. Well, I'm usually doing a video in my truck, but I thought, well, why not try it? Try it at home, see how it works. So bear with me. I'm used to. I usually think pretty good when I'm when I'm driving. So we'll see if just sitting here. So I have some notes. So if you see me look away. So what holds men back? Seriousness. When you're overly serious, that's a big problem. And I think I'll circle back to a few solutions for that. Another thing is fear of looking foolish. Yeah, we have that, right? If you're afraid to look foolish, you probably aren't going to try anything new or outside of your comfort zone. Another thing would be societal rules, right? That we're subscribing too tightly to what we think society is telling us to do. And society does tell us a lot overtly. Another one is discomfort about your looks. Yeah, I talk about that in some of my articles and some solutions. Feelings of unworthiness and worry about the future. Well, yeah, I think those are, I would call that six fairly significant issues, fairly significant reasons that you feel like you're held back from, whatever you want to try to do, whether it's change your major in college, whether it's quit something that's not good for you, whether that's changing your career, whether that's going for a better job, whether that's approaching women you find desirable, whether that's ending a relationship with somebody that's not good for you, whether that's meeting new friends, trying new adventures, traveling alone, which I just have done, and going out alone. All these things, all these things can hold you back from having, let's say, an adventurous, fun, abundant life that you can really be proud to be living and enjoy it. Seriousness. So, what would you do about seriousness? Oh, I've got to get my glasses on. Bear with me a second. Didn't write big enough. For seriousness, what I like to do is poke fun at almost everything. Almost everything. No matter how serious the situation, if you can just poke a hole in it, it will lighten the mood. For example, now in the U.S., 2020, it's right in the middle of the presidential run. So what I like to do is whatever candidate the people are saying they like, I just go the opposite, right? Point out the flaws and what that person they're going for is talking about, and just kind of bring it down to the absurd. So even if they're for the same person I am, I go the opposite, right? You got to be careful with this, right? We all know what that means, but poke fun at everything. It it will make your life a lot more enjoyable. Now you don't want to do this in a clownish way and just constantly be, let's say, the class clown. Not really, but it will help you diffuse tense situations if you can poke fun at something, or ask something funny, or point out the absurd side of something. So give that a try. I mean, a lot of you guys are so serious that you wouldn't know a joke if it came and bit you in the face. Well, the way you counteract that is consider most everything a joke. Most everything, and it'll start making more sense to you. Maybe laugh more in general, and see everything as absurd. Let's say when you're talking to girls, you want to mishear things, especially girls. You don't want to be too serious with women. Being too serious with women will just absolutely ruin your life. You want to be always playful, always mishearing them, always kind of saying, "Oh boy, are you? Are you?" You just go from they're always hitting on you. They always think you're so handsome and so desirable, and whether it's an old lady or the girl of your dreams, you're doing this. It'll make your life a lot more fun. Uh, you'll get to be let's say a little more humorous, and the kind of humor I'm talking about isn't like the fall down slapstick stuff. It's maybe more the dry humor. And I think if you're a serious guy, if you have a serious career, you got serious aspirations and ambitions, just a bit of dry humor will help you kind of lighten up. And that's kind of me, right? I'm always been very serious about most everything. So that little bit of dry humor will help you. It'll make your life a lot more fun. Uh, Two, I was talking about fear of looking foolish. Well, fear is the mind killer, the ambition killer. You have to start, you might want to start thinking about trying to look foolish, actively trying to look foolish to get past a little of that fear and call it an adventure to try to look foolish. I mean, it's just a tip, but whenever you do something new, you're not going to be that good at it, so you're going to look foolish. So you have to kind of get good at not minding looking foolish. If you think about like entertainers, their whole the whole thing they do is about looking foolish, and they enjoy the success that goes along with it. So that's a fear you're going to have to face if you want to have a better life. It's as simple as just raising your hand and asking a question in a classroom setting, right? You don't want to look foolish like you're the only one who doesn't know it, but usually you're not. So kind of start asking questions that will help you get away from this looking foolish idea. Kind of be the person who introduces yourself to everyone new. Be the first one who does, or near the top. Don't be afraid to go and talk to new women, especially. Women are not out to get you. You could just say, hey, I really wanted to meet you. Tell them your name, and then what's your name, You don't even have to go any farther than that. I know this is like, if you're starting from zero, you're not going to be getting into bed with a new lady right away. But you might. You might. You might. But you have to start trying to look foolish. Get out on the dance floor and dance. Go up and sing the karaoke song. Right? Volunteer to give a presentation at work or whatever social gathering. Volunteer more, do more, push yourself. You want to get out of this fear of looking foolish mode into a powerful man mode. And, the more I've done this, the better my life has gotten. And, I didn't even give a public presentation until I was in my late 40s. And now I've given like dozens of them, and I don't mind, right? And part of it is I'm practicing, right? I'm practicing my speeches that I give at work extensively. I'm getting better at speaking because I do it here in the YouTube, and I go up and talk to people, and I travel alone. I go out alone, and I've gotten past all of that fear, and it makes my life much, much better. So where are we at on my list? Societal rules, being a rule follower. The success comes to you outside of the rules. So let's say you don't want to be the you don't want to break the rules and have the police give you a good beating, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. You don't want to break the rules and be in front of a mob when they're storming down the street, right? But let's just say minor rules. I'm talking about minor rules that have a major effect on your life. Because mostly what people want is you, the man, being a nice, obedient boy, right? That's kind of what they want. And of course, this being a nice, obedient boy is the exact opposite of having a great man's abundant life. You don't want that. You don't want to be an obedient boy. You want to be kind of a disobedient man, a man who's going his own way, which would be making your own rules. What kind of stuff, what kind of rules would you be setting for yourself, right? And be, let's just say, not taking rules seriously. Some rules are kind of meant to be bent a little bit. Speeding limits, for example, you can bend those somewhat. Crossing against lights, starting and stopping careers, businesses, how many women you are in bed with, right? All of these are just rules that have no meaning to your life, because what you want to do is do what you want to do, and the rules are not meant to help you get that, right? So you might want to make lists of the rules that you think you have to follow, and then figure out ways to get around them, or avoid them, or ignore them, or scoff at them. Okay? Forget about a lot of the societal rules. The discomfort, you have a lot of discomfort about your looks. That was like one of the fourth things that hold men back. Well, yeah, you want to try to look your best, and there's lots of ways you can do that to make yourself look better. Kind of the best way is to get in the weight room. I've got a lot of videos about weight training, and I love to learn more about weight training, and I love to do it as much as I can. And of course, I've gotten hurt tremendously by weight training, and I don't advise you to do it to get hurt. I do it in a manner to help you feel better, get stronger, get more muscle, and look better. You're going to look better if you have muscle. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody knows this, and it's only people who are foolish would deny it. So if you're small and skinny, you want to gain a bunch of muscular weight, and you probably want to get some fat weight too. You want to be, if you're shorter, you want to be bigger. A lot of the best bodybuilders in the world are short, right? They have great leverages. They can build muscle in a shorter amount of time, and they look, let's say, more muscular with that because of their less height. And if you're taller, that's even more important. Although I know tall men, they tend to do better with all the girls like the tall guys, right? So a tall guy who has got some pretty good muscle should just be able to mop up beyond, there should be no question on it. And everybody else, normal, well, you want to look your best, don't you? For your career, for your health, for getting more ladies, for getting the lady for you, and just for its own sake, you're going to look better from the weight training. And of course, along with the weight with that, you want to be trying to flatten your belly. You don't want to be overly fat. This is a struggle I face all the time, and I admit it. I freely admit it, and I try my best, and I work at it. And truthfully, this COVID really knocked me off because I couldn't weight train for many, many months, and I lost a lot of strength, lost a lot of power, gained a little bit of weight, and got a little bit flabby. And I know a lot of guys are like that, but because of the COVID. So when you get a chance to get back to the gym, start getting back to the gym and start improving that part, flatten that belly and get some muscle. Along with flattening your belly, the easiest way to do that is to eat more beef, not vegan, not over carbed, not a lot of chicken either. Some chicken, I suppose, but beef. One of my favorite resources is Meat RX with Sean Baker. You might want to check that out. It seems to be very helpful for a lot of people to improve their health, make them look better, make them feel better. Another thing is get in the sun. The sun is demonized. They're saying that we should slather on all kinds of toxic chemicals on our skin and be in the sun. Well, I think what I like to do is just get out in the sun long enough to get some color, and then instead of putting the chemicals on me, I just come inside or cover up. We get the vitamin D from the sun. It just makes no sense to not get in the sun long enough to have enough color. Now, take your own advice on this. I'm not a doctor, but what I think happens is you there is, yeah, the skin cancer can be quite a bad thing, but the lack of sun also affects other health issues. So you want to have some degree of balance in this and do your own research. But you look a lot better with a little bit of color. You don't have to get sunburned and red though to get color. Get your body hair under control. It's a pain to do a lot of shaving of your body, but you can always take a trimmer and just get it so there's not quite the volume. If you've got a lot of hair, get rid of some of that volume of hair, and then that'll make the muscles you're building and your flattered belly, and you look a lot better, and you're going to feel a lot. I think you'll feel a lot sexier, and girls will kind of like that, and they'll like rubbing their hands over your smoother skin or a little bit of a stubble, smaller amount of hair. And there's lots of great trimmers available that's easy, very easy to use. Another thing that'll help you about your looks is the contacts. You see me with my reading glasses on and off. Well, that's because I wear contacts for normal sight, and then I'm older, right? I'm in my 50s. You can't hold that against me. I need the reading glasses to see my notes, to read the computer, to read my phone, to read books, and all of that. But just for driving, for going out in the town, ordering drinks, meeting girls, I want to wear my contacts because that's how I look good. I went from a very ugly person as a junior in high school to very good looking when I got my contacts. And you will too. Don't skimp out on this. It costs some money to buy contacts. It costs me about $400 to $500 a year to get the exam and a year's supply of contacts. But man, it helps you. You'll be able to work out better. You won't have the glasses sliding off. You won't be all these futzing with the glasses. The best looking men in the world do not wear glasses. They don't. It's almost impossible to look good wearing glasses. I'm sorry. It's a non-negotiable thing for you. Facial hair. Well, I made a big mistake when I was a young man. I always was playing with the facial hair, but then when I would go out to meet girls, I would always shave down tight instead of looking good with some facial hair of some kind. It's very important for you as a man to have some facial hair. Unless you're very, very, very lean in the face, and then I would argue that the guys with really lean faces, that's just a little bit too much. You want to have some facial hair. It makes you look like a guy who has it together. I remember one of my coworkers. He was a very interesting guy, and he always was experimenting with his facial hair and his hair. And like every Monday, he'd usually come in with something totally new, and it was comical and funny, and we laugh about it. And I remember another older guy, he picked up on this one time, and I was kind of surprised he did because he was a real serious guy. Didn't seem to. And he said, "Yeah, last time I saw you had, he told the guy, we were both all three of us in the same meeting. Last time I saw you 2 weeks ago, you had a different kind of a beard on, and now you look this way. What's up with that?" And my coworker goes, "Well, yeah, I usually, I change it up, like to change it up, have some fun with it. I like different looks." And of course, the other guy who's so serious said, "Well, I don't know how I don't know how you have time for all of that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know exactly this guy, the guy who doesn't understand about facial hair, he doesn't even have time. His life is so overwhelmed with work and family and a wife that it's just simpler to shave every morning and be done with it." Well, is that how you want to live your life? Everything's simple. You don't want to stand out and look your best? I think you want to look your best. And the facial hair of whatever type will help you with that. A decent haircut. Yeah, obviously you want to have good hair. You don't want big hair. Big hair never looks good on a guy. The rock stars, yeah, they can kind of pull that off. It looks good when they're shaking around and prancing around up on stage, and but it doesn't look good in normal life. A big moppy head of hair doesn't look good in normal life. You want more. It looks too feminine. To me, it looks too feminine. You want a smaller head of hair, a man cut, at a barber or a good stylist. If you're losing your hair like me, you cut it down tight. You might want to shave it. You at least want to get it nice and tight. And if you have a good head of hair, well, get a good style that fits you, but not overly long. Long hair just does not look good on men, unless you're a rock star, right? And I don't think you are if you're listening to this. Clothes, shoes, yes, you got to do that. You got to spend good money on this stuff. I mean, the good news is you don't have to go overboard and have like 10 different fancy shirts. One or two or three nice shirts should be it, right? Pants, one good pair of jeans will carry you a long way. In the summertime, nice shorts, a couple nice pairs of slacks, a handful of good-looking shoes. Shoes will be the expensive part, the most, but yeah, you're gonna have to spend, $80, $100 on a nice shirt, 80, 100 or more on nice jeans, and 100 on shoes, and each, right? So, but it improves your look. It shows you know how to put yourself together. Wearing the cheapest T-shirt is the last thing you want to do. Ooh, that's the last thing you want to do. You're never going to look good when you go out in a cheap T-shirt. You got to have a decent clothes. Yeah, those you want to, of course, have plenty of energy and get plenty of sleep and learn how to relax, but all those things will help you kind of get over your discomfort about the looks, because you're just going to make little improvements. You get to the optometrist, get the contacts, start growing your facial hair, get out in the sun every day for 10 or 15 minutes with your shirt off. Get to the weight room 2 or 3 times a week, right? Start eating more meat and more beef and a lot less of everything else, and you're going to start looking much, much, much better. Another thing that holds you back is the feelings of unworthiness. I saw a video from one of my favorite bloggers, Black Dragon, not that long ago, and he laid into all the details about why you should feel worthy, and he just said, the circumstances of your being here are enough. And I love that video. Look for that, Black Dragon, and I can't remember the exact name of it, but You're worthy because you're here. Your life is meaningful because you give it meaning. Nobody else is like you. Nobody else is like me. You want to be happy in that. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Right? I'm sure I'll have more to say on this subject because it's a very, very critical subject for us as men. And I guess the last one I had was worry about the future. Well, you would be spending time doing what you can to make your future easier and better. Like, if you have debts, you want to be paying them down and off, so you don't have so much of that as you get older. You want to be putting some money aside for the future you. But what you really want to do is just make today really good. And if you make today really good, and you do that tomorrow and the next day, the future is going to take care of itself. So you don't have to be so afraid of the future because you're going to be making progress every day toward the future. Okay? So, yeah, I think I'm going to end this. This is quite a long video for me. Those are kind of the main things that I hope that hold men back, and I'm sure some of those ideas will help you, to get over that. All for now.